2026 is a big year for the Kia Sportage. Not only do we have a fresh refresh with new tech, new software, a new look, and a whole new interior, we also have a new trim level for the hybrid, and that is the EX Premium model. So in today's video, both myself and Pat, who is also the owner of the dealership.
That's right.
So he's an expert in all these cars. We're gonna give you a full walkthrough of everything you can expect in the EX Premium trim level. The best part about this video is the fact that it's live streamed too. So we're doing this in real time. There's absolutely zero script. There's no editing either.
You're gonna find that with my cameraman skills.
Now, Pat doesn't do this every day, and I haven't done this for a week, so I might be a little rusty myself. But if you guys have any questions in the chat, please let us know. There is a separate live chat section that you can type in questions. Let us know what you think about this vehicle, and we'll dedicate a couple minutes towards the end to going over everything you've mentioned. Now, should we get into it, Pat?
Let's do this.
All right, I see Charlotte's on. She said fave duo. I miss my Charlotte. You guys, if you've missed a couple of videos, Charlotte is on mat leave, so she's gonna be away for a little while, but when she gets back, big things are coming. All right, let's first start off with the exterior, and I need to mention the paint. So this is called our steel gray metallic paint, by far one of my favorites on the Kia Sportage, and I know what you're thinking, another gray paint. No, this metallic, it shines in the sunlight, but it's also a very clean, modern color. It just looks good at all times, and in the winter here in Canada, it actually hides salt pretty nicely. On this particular model, you'll notice a lot of gloss black design elements, so notably on the front grille here. A lot of our lines are now in a horizontal format too, so that definitely widens the appearance of the Kia Sportage, giving it a bit more of a grown-up, muscular look. The same is true for the new headlamp design. So this is a brand new design for 2026. You'll see that we've done away with those boomerang-style daytime running lights, and instead we have bold, bright, vertical with a slight slash for amber daytime running lights. Your main headlamp unit will be a full LED regardless of the trim level that you opt for, but if you are choosing the EX Premium, you'll also get the inclusion of LED fog lamps. So your fog lamps will be positioned a little bit lower on your front bumper, and then of course that will help with visibility. Another huge bonus of LEDs is not only are they standard, they're also going to last a whole lot longer than your traditional bulbs, and they look pretty modern. A couple more touches I want to point out are our front parking sensors. So standard on the Sportage Hybrid, we'll have parking sensors both on the front end of the vehicle, so 4 on the very front bumper, and then 4 along the rear too. So if I'm approaching, let's say, a vehicle ahead of me or a wall, my garage door, my car will beep inside to let me know when I'm getting too close. There's also a lot of active advanced safety functions standard on this vehicle, so let's go through a quick rundown. Forward collision avoidance assist. Now this model is going to have forward collision avoidance assist 1.5, so an advancement of what we've seen in the previous years. That means it can sense that there's a risk of a collision and warn you as the driver. Whether that's a pedestrian, a cyclist, or another car, the vehicle will beep at you and then provide some braking correction to avoid a crash. It also has smart cruise control and highway drive assist. So right off to the passenger side of our front end, you'll notice this rectangular radar plate. Now this will be used to monitor the distance of your car and the car ahead of you. So if they start slowing down, you hit stop and go traffic, your car will do the same, provided you have your cruise control on. You can totally opt out of it if you're not a fan of it. You can adjust your speed to your preferred settings and also change things like the reaction time if it feels a little too sluggish. Pretty cool if you ask me, and there's a whole lot more, and I promise you we'll get into it. The next thing I want to talk about is the actual hybrid powertrain. Of course, if you're shopping for Kia Sportage, you may have seen there's a couple different powertrain options to choose from. The hybrid is a little bit of the sweet spot. So not only is it going to give you better fuel efficiency than the regular gas model, it's also going to give you more power. I know, you wouldn't think efficiency and power really going together, but it does. Let's show you how. So we're going to pop the hood. We do have a prop arm for this particular vehicle. And for our gasoline engine, it's a 1.6 liter turbocharged gasoline direct injection engine. That is your typical gas power plants. However, this vehicle also has a battery and an electric motor. Those will work in a hybrid function, combining both forces together to give you a blend of fuel efficiency and performance. Now, there's a little bit of, I don't want to say misinformation, but conflicting numbers online about how much horsepower and torque this car actually produces. So I'm just going to go based off the spec sheet that I see on Kia Canada's website. That is 241 horsepower with 258 pound-feet of torque. Now, if we're comparing that to the gas model Kia Sportage, that larger engine only produces 187 horsepower with 178 pound-feet of torque, which again is more than enough, but this gives you a little bit more. So if you got a heavy foot, you'll get the fuel savings, but also the power. All right, the hair is in my mouth. You guys can tell this is a live video. Last thing I want to talk about powertrain-wise is the transmission that comes with this vehicle, and that is a 6-speed automatic transmission. When you hop inside, we'll see that we have paddle shifters, and I'll explain how they're dual purpose when we get there. So make sure you watch the entire video. All right, now for our wheels. When you go to the EX Premium trim, you're actually going to go up in size to an 18-inch alloy. This is a machine finished alloy, so you get a mix of the beautiful gloss black with a little bit of our lighter elements too. Love this. I know a lot of you guys like the dark wheels, but a little bit of brightness adds a nice contrast. The tire is a Goodyear all-season tire, and you do have all-wheel drive standard on all hybrid models of the Kia Sportage. Now the hybrid system does have a front-wheel drive bias, so if it's a regular sunny day and you're driving on dry pavement, you get that fuel efficiency savings. However, if you turn onto an uneven surface or gravel roads, the car will automatically redistribute its torque to give you the traction that you need. You do also have terrain mode select though, so if you want to put it in snow mode, mud mode, or sand mode, all of those settings are going to be predetermined to match those specific driving scenarios. Pat, how do you like it?
Right now I'm thinking it's 42 degrees Celsius outside.
You don't want to be talking about snow.
107 degrees Fahrenheit, and I am sweating.
All right, let's keep moving then.
But on a side note, my eldest daughter, Camille, just switched to a hybrid Sportage from an ICE.
Yes,
and the initial reviews are very positive.
Awesome.
She's saving a fair amount of fuel and likes the additional power.
And Camille, she's not exactly a car person, so if she approves of it,
yeah,
it's probably pretty good. It's a pretty good change. Now, one more design accent I want to touch on before we get into the rest of this vehicle is the actual wheel arch. So it is gloss black. I think it contrasts with the lighter paint beautifully, but of course, if you opt for black paint, it just blends in perfectly. So nice and sleek, regardless of your paint choice. Your windshield is heated on this vehicle, so I can't exactly show you how it looks different, but I can explain it to you. A lot of people are familiar with the heated windscreen on the back, and that will melt snow and ice off your rear window. The same is true on this car for the front. Even better, you can actually pre-warm it from your phone thanks to the Kia Connect app. So you hop into your car, it's cold inside if you got the AC on, it's warm if you got the heat on. Perfect for Canadian weather. We got all the seasons here. Now, for your mirrors, the EX Premium will be your introductory trim level to power folding side mirrors. You're also going to get a turn signal indicator, it's an LED, with your blind spot detection icon on the actual mirrored portion. The mirrors themselves are also electronically controlled and heated. For your door handle, we got our proximity entry, which is this little button located on both the driver and passenger front doors that allows you to press the button to unlock the car as long as the key is somewhere on you or in your proximity. It also locks the car, so once you're done driving, you never have to dig for your keys. You might actually never have to touch your key again with this car, if I'm being honest. Up at the top, we got our our gloss black roof rails. And then tying in with that gloss black theme, we also have our rear pillar finished in that same finish. You do get a little bit of a 3D detailing there too, so a lot of design when you actually look for it on this car. Nothing's simple, nothing's boring. Same is true on the rear end. So this entire panel just above your rear bumper, all gloss black. Looks fantastic, especially when it's clean. It definitely gives a more premium look, which is what you expect on the EX Premium. Your rear parking sensors are located in the bumper itself. So you can see those 4 little dots peppered throughout. And then you got your reverse light in a bit of a funky area. It's an LED reverse light, so very, very bright. It does emit a lot of light.
Oh, I don't think I noticed that.
No?
No.
There she is.
Yeah.
Now for the tail lamps themselves, they don't look too different from last year, but if you actually pay close attention, we do have an actual different light sequence design. So the housing is a similar shape, but the actual bulbs are laid out differently. A little bit more modern in my opinion. I think it looks good. The housing itself is also all gloss black too, so it gives the illusion of a dark tail lamp without actually sacrificing visibility. Then you got your high mounted stop lamp and your rear wiper hidden just underneath. Now let's open up the liftgate because here is a major add-on that the EX Premium introduces, and that is a smart power liftgate. So you can use this a couple different ways. I press the button, which is located by your rear view camera. You can also use your key fob to open it, or there is a button by the driver's area. If you don't want to do that and you want to do things the easier way, there's also a proximity function where you simply walk up to the rear of the vehicle, and as long as the key's on you, it'll automatically open. You can also shut that off if it's inconvenient for you. The height is adjustable, so you just maneuver it to your preferred height and press and hold this button until it beeps, and that is your new saved liftgate height. Space-wise, the Sportage does shine, so there is a lot of space behind our rear seats. The best part about this car is it's road trip approved for 5 people, or 4 passengers, 1 driver, but you can still put all of your things behind the seats. You don't have to fold down any seat to get your goods in. There is a lot of usable space. Underneath the floorboard, there's also a compact spare tire, something that a lot of compact vehicles, more specifically hybrids, don't have. So this is a huge win for the Kia Sportage. All right, let's take a look inside. Before I do that, I'm going to talk about the fuel tank size as well as the fuel consumption. So the fuel tank is located on the driver's side. It's a push style, so as long as the car is unlocked, you give the fuel door a push, it'll open for you. And it's a 52-liter tank, so not too expensive to fill at the fuel pump. And you get about 6.7 liters per 100 kilometers combined. That's highway and city. Great thing about hybrids too is when you're doing low speed driving or even stop and go traffic, emphasis on the stop, a lot of the time this vehicle will be sitting idle in EV mode, so you're not wasting unnecessary fuel. Huge win on this car. Also, if you are someone who's a little bit lighter on the throttle, you can really extend how long your EV range is running. And although this car doesn't have a rated EV range like a plug-in hybrid might have, a lot of it, again, depends on how you drive the car. Now I'll have Pat do a quick pan inside before we hop in. So you can see we got a brand new screen layout. And again, if you're not too tech savvy, I think you'll be really impressed with how this software operates on this vehicle, because you could be a total tech geek or not care at all. It's still easy to understand and still has a lot in it. The EX Premium will be your introductory trim level to memory seats. So before I hop in the seat, I'll just show you the buttons. You'll notice that we have 2 profile buttons here. So seat number 1 and seat number 2. Pat, come a little closer. Sorry. So we got our seat number 1 and our seat number 2. But there's actually 6 different saves, and I know that sounds confusing, but I'll explain once I get inside. So with so many different configurations, and it's not just the seat, it's also your mirrors that will save with those buttons. You can have 2 driver saves, hence the 2 buttons, per driver profile. And this car has 3 driver profiles: driver 1, driver 2, and guest. Makes sense? All right, let's talk about what those configurations are. So, of course, we've got the bottom of our seat. We can bring it closer, further, raise it, lower it, and even tilt it on an angle. You also got your backrest, adjust it to your liking, as well as our lumbar support. Super comfy. The mirrors, like I mentioned, are saved to the memory seat settings. So once I've configured my mirrors to my preferences, I'll press and hold my button here, and it'll save to my driver profile. The windows up at the front, so both driver and passenger, are express windows. That means if I press down on the window control all the way, it'll go all the way down. If I flick it up, it'll go all the way up. I don't have to hold it the whole time. For our dash area here, we got our brightness adjustment, as well as our traction control, a 12-volt battery reset, and our liftgate button. This is also the location of your electronic parking brake. Guys, if I start getting a little woozy, it's very hot in this car.
It is
very hot in this car. And again, this is live. All right, for our steering wheel, brand new shape. It's a bit of a 2-spoke design with a lot going on in the center, but I promise you it's easy to understand and use. I'm gonna take the camera from Pat while I explain what controls we have here. And then once Pat comes in, I'll have him talk about his seat. So first up on the left-hand side, we have our driver assistance controls. Here's where I'll turn on my cruise control, set the speed with the plus and minus, and then set the following distance with this button here. I can also turn on or off my lane following assist button, which essentially reads the lanes ahead of me and adjusts my steering to make sure I'm always in my lane. It's not just going to beep at me if I start to depart, it'll actually take active correction. Just below that, I have our drive mode select, and when this vehicle is on, it allows you to cycle between, we've got our sport mode, go, just let the car wake up, eco mode, sport mode, and my drive, which allows you to customize the drive mode to your set liking. It could be a super eco mode or even maybe a super sport mode, whatever you like best. The right-hand side is more so media focused, so we got our voice commands. If your phone's connected, this can be your phone's assistance or just the car's assistance. Then your volume control, as well as your phone button and a button that you can preset as a favorite. Below that is our terrain mode select, so once I press this, it'll allow me to cycle between snow, mud, and sand mode. Now I promised you guys I would talk about our paddle shifters, so here they are. Now the paddle shifters have 2 purposes. if you're in sport mode, they'll actually change the gear that you're in. So you got a 6-speed automatic transmission, you can downshift on the left-hand side and upshift on the right-hand side. However, if you're in eco mode, it actually changes the level of regen braking on this car. Regenerative braking is pretty cool. Sorry, I can give that to you, Pat. But we're talking, oh! So regenerative braking is pretty cool, and it might be a foreign term to you if you've never driven a hybrid or electric car before. So in the past, we couldn't adjust our regen braking on our set hybrids. The car did it itself. Now I can opt for a higher level of regen braking, which means as soon as I let off the accelerator, I'll feel my car brake, even though I'm not pressing the brake pedal. Essentially, the electric motor is no longer spinning forward to propel the car, and instead it's spinning in reverse, drawing energy back into the battery to use later. So it's actually prolonging the life of your brakes, but also charging up your car's battery. No plug needed. So the car does it all itself, and that again is the beauty of a hybrid. And again, plug-in hybrids are fantastic, but if you can't plug it in every day, this might be the better car for you. All right, now for our main screen. This is a 12.3-inch display with brand new software. The main highlights of this display is just how easy it is to see and use. So all the icons are quite large, and it's also easy to reconfigure. So if you don't like one of the icons, you can send it off to another page and keep the main page focused on what you use the most. There's a dedicated hybrid menu which shows things like your average driving history, as well as where power is being drawn from and when your battery is recharging itself. Pretty cool. This is really great to check in every couple weeks with ownership. Of course, this is a brand new car, so it hasn't really been driven, but after owning this car, you can see your driving history and just how efficient or inefficient you drive. Huge win on this software as well. We do get wireless over-the-air updates and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Standard. You also get in-house navigation standard on this particular vehicle. Below that, we got our fans and we got our climate controls. Now, interesting thing about this panel here, right now it's in its climate control display setting, which means I as a driver can set my temp and the passenger can have their separate temperature, so dual zone. You can also turn on or off our front defrost and adjust the fan speed ourselves or use the auto climate setting. Now, if I flip over, it's also our media controls. So over here, I can just jump to my map, jump to my home screen, whatever you like. Basically, it's a dual purpose screen. Now our lights have gone off, so what I'm gonna do is hop out of the car and get them back on, but I'm also gonna talk about Pat's passenger seat. And it's so great that Pat's sitting there because he's a pretty tall guy, and I don't always do the best job at showing what headroom or space is like being a 5'3" person. So okay, Pat, how tall are you first?
I'm just a little over 6'1", not quite 6'2".
Okay.
And so, yeah, tons of headroom, tons of leg room, tons of hip room. Yeah, it's pretty comfortable.
Awesome. No so complaints. Did you know that this trim level is the introductory trim to a power passenger seat?
I do now.
There you go. So 2 different levels of controls. You got your height adjustment as well as your distance, and then your back or recline. This trim level is also the starting trim for heated and cooled seats up at the front with heated seats in the rear too. So if passenger comforts is a must for you, this is the trim level to get. Now, I think we're just about done on the front end of the car or the front cabin. I might just do another quick overview for you guys and also show you the seat materials.
I just turned my air-conditioned seats on.
Oh,
wow,
nice.
That is way better.
Yeah, so AC seats or ventilated seats as well as heated seats and of course heated steering wheel too. This whole center area is also finished in, I don't want to say carbon fiber, but no other material name is really coming to me. But basically what you need to know is even on a hot day with sweaty fingerprints, you're not seeing any of them here. So it's very, very driver friendly in the long haul. You don't have to keep cleaning products in your car at all times. Your start button's located right smack dab in the center, and then you got your shift-by-wire gear shift.
Do you like the dial?
I prefer a regular gear shift, like a lever style, but I do like this. It's way better than buttons, in my opinion. So you just twist it over as long as your foot's on the brake. You put yourself in reverse, neutral, drive, and then P in the center for park. Below that, you got your downhill braking assist, as well as your auto hold braking, your camera button. So this will summon up your rear view camera, even if you're not in reverse. And then of course, if you are actively reversing your car, that will come up automatically. You also have parking guidelines to show where you're going to end up and just how close you are to the things around you. Your cup holders are adjustable, so you can pop them out or retract them back in if you just want a lot of space. And then this small area here is a wireless phone charger with an elevated charging surface. So essentially your phone's not sitting completely flat, which allows for better ventilation and not an overheated phone. And then you get two USB-Cs. The one on the left that's lit up in amber is for both data connectivity and charging. And then the one in white is just for charging. Do you want to open the center console, Pat?
Sure.
Center console reveal. So we actually do have a 12-volt inverter there. Pretty handy. And it's a good size as well. And then last but not least, something that makes the EX Premium extra special is the panoramic sunroof. And this thing is huge. So the screen is powered, it adjusts all the way. You can, however, stop it to whatever section you would like if you don't want it to fully recline. And then the window pane opens to about there, also releasing its bug net. So beautiful sunroof, really brightens up the cabin in this car. And last thing I'll point out is the seat materials. So you do get an upgraded quilted seat on the EX Premium. So you'll have the slats along the actual back area and the seat area, with the upper backrest being a suede material. I think it looks very, very premium, as the name suggests. All right, now for our back seats. So I already mentioned it earlier, but I'll give you guys a quick refresh. We got heated seats in the rear with 3 different levels. Those will be covered for your 2 main seats. So this seat and that seat. One thing I really do love style-wise is they've included that suede seat back in both of our main seats too. So style-wise, we're still looking good in the back seats. Pat, do you want to hop in just so I can show space?
Sure.
This is perfect.
So the passenger seat is all the way back as far as it goes. And you can see that, like, I'm not cramped or anything like that. Totally comfortable. And this seat can recline a little bit, which makes it more comfortable.
Can you show it reclined?
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, nice big cup holder, armrest.
Filming these videos with Pat is great because it's the one time I can boss my boss around.
And then I would hate sitting in the middle. Yeah, that's totally not for me.
Yeah, definitely not the best seat in the house, but it's doable. You still got a lot of headroom.
Yeah, and I love how they've got USBs everywhere.
Yeah, so USBs.
And vents.
So rear vents just mounted on the back of the center console, a little storage pocket there, and both seats are going to have a leather seat back pocket. The leather is great because it actually kind of hides what you have there, so if you are leaving a device or whatever in your car, it's not visible from your windows. And then this little hook here can be used to hang bags, or if using your charger, you can actually wrap the cable around here so it's not dangling on the floor. Now the headrests also double as another coat hanger or bag holder just to keep your stuff off of the ground. So a lot of attention and detail went into this car just to make it so user-friendly, so comfortable. And although it's got so much advanced technology, I do truly feel like it's very easy to understand. Now, a couple other nice touches. We got deluxe door scuffs for the EX Premium, so just a bit more style there. And then our chrome painted door handles too. So a lot of more premium materials went into the EX Premium. A couple people asked about pricing, and I saw Ryan just put it in the
Ryan's
chat.
been answering it.
Thanks, Ryan. But yes, so this vehicle is priced at $44,245 Canadian. I do think I mentioned that in the beginning, maybe not. Maybe not. But it's $3,000 less than the top model, and it gets you a lot of nice creature comforts. So if you want to save a couple $1,000 and still have a super comfortable ride that's efficient and powerful.
So interesting enough, for the 2026 model year, Kia decided to align the hybrid and the ICE models as far as packages, so an EX Premium to an EX Premium.
Yep.
And they also decided that 50% of our volume is going to be hybrid or plug-in hybrid versus straight ICE.
And that's the big thing.
For years we've been fighting to get a little more hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and this year we've got it.
Yep.
Now, it was kind of fortuitous that they planned that out because Quebec's ZEB mandate, they now are accepting hybrids and plug-in hybrids as a 50% credit towards the mandate.
Oh, wow.
So that means that it's going to make it a little bit easier to hit the number.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, Kia's been hitting it, but it just makes it that much easier.
Yeah.
So if you're going to get a Sportage, I think hybrid's the way to go.
I do too. I honestly, I truly believe that. Even just from a performance standpoint, I really, really do feel the difference in hopping into the hybrid powertrain versus the gas model. Some people do complain that the gas model is sluggish. To that, I have to say, try sport mode, or maybe your foot is just a little too heavy, but this definitely gives you the power boost that a lot of people are looking for, with also giving you that efficiency boost too, something you don't often get in cars. Got asked how availability is like. Pat, do you want to answer that? Because you see the internal.
I mean, if your vehicle's up in January 2027, I'm not anticipating any issues.
Yeah.
Like we've got product on ground available for sale. So
just not a heritage
not all
blue.
the trims necessarily. Yeah,
Yeah.
We're missing an SX in blue, of course, which I did reach out to see whether we could get one.
Mm-hmm.
So
horsepower. So horsepower, I mentioned it earlier on. I see two different values on Kia Canada's website. This is the one that I believe is the accurate one, and that is 241 horsepower with 258 pound-feet of torque. Is there an option for a welcome sound? Can we please have a listen? So I don't know if it's on right now. I can't remember if I heard it.
It definitely, yeah, I rebooted it and
it's got a little bit of a chime. There's also a goodbye sound too. I know some people really do like them. Some people hate it. Pat, do you mind closing the doors?
I don't mind.
So once the doors are closed, I'll give it a start and we'll fully boot up the car actually. So foot on the brake. Oh, I'm having trouble with the gimbal. Oh no. So great time to showcase what the 12-volt battery reset does. So because we had this car running for almost half an hour with its accessories, it'll put itself in like a battery saving mode where you have to press the 12-volt button reset to kind of jumpstart the car. So now we'll start her up. Did you guys hear that? There we go. And then with hybrids, because a lot of the times they'll start in EV mode, it'll give you a ready to drive icon, and it gave a little pop-up on the main screen there saying ready to drive. And again, that's the beauty of a hybrid. If I'm sitting in traffic, like I could pretend to be doing right now, it's an EV. I'm not using any gas, the engine is not running. So pretty cool. There is our goodbye chime.
One of the questions we had was on the hybrid battery and how long should it last and what is the warranty. So the warranty on it is 8 years or 150,000 kilometers. And we've got, our first generation of hybrids in Canada was the Optima hybrid.
Yeah.
And we've still got some of those on the road and, they're 14 years old.
Yeah, we took one in on trade probably like 2 months ago, something like that. Do you remember?
Yeah, that's right,
we did. It was a 2011, so first gen Optima hybrid. I loved that car. It was the same color as my Optima too, so little connection there. When does the engine kick on? So the engine will kick on based off when the car seems it's fit. So if it's a cold day and I'm sitting in my driveway, heat's totally cranked, it's probably going to turn over the engine to help warm up the cabin. Also, if I'm climbing up a steep hill, full throttle, the gas engine will certainly be on. Now, regular driving, because this is a hybrid and not a plug-in hybrid, it will cycle the engine on pretty often. Matter of fact, a lot of the time the engine will be running. It's going to be that very low-speed driving, coasting, or sitting in traffic where the car is in EV mode. So it's still using the gas engine, of course.
Tunes done by ones calling out the difference in horsepower. So we do have two different numbers in horsepower in our...
Where was that?
It's just above Ryan's comment.
Oh, yeah, so there's been a couple different specs on horsepower that I've seen, all from Kia Canada official. So I don't know, but from what I've grabbed on the actual spec sheet, 241 horse. I did email one of our reps though, just to get verification. So next time we film a Sportage hybrid, hopefully I'll have the actual confirmed number and maybe they'll fix the website too.
Yeah, funny enough, it's often our team who finds errors in the data and then asks for clarification and then they correct it for us.
Yeah.
So.
All right, you guys, now
we did it.
We are at about 30 minutes. We're close to there. I think we gotta end off while we're ahead.
I gotta go do some work.
Oh, me too. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're catching this video on in the future, let me know what the future is. But also, don't forget to like, share, and comment this video, and even subscribe if you haven't already. We do videos just like this.
We also don't mind if you buy a car from us.
Oh yeah, we do that too. We are a real car dealership. Pat is a real guy. I'm a real person here too. We can sell you a car, service your car. We even deliver.
All right, guys, thanks.
Bye, you guys.